the falls, the perks, and everything in between, Saturday mornings, 10 to 11, right here on Nuga Radio.
If you want to discover the real hope for your life through inspirational music, relevant messages, and testimonies from others who have already found hope, then we encourage you to visit the second annual My Hope Conference, October 7th through 9th at Hickson First Baptist Church. Free admission and childcare is provided for kids up to pre-K, while those in kindergarten through 5th grade will attend the Kids Hope Rally. For more info, visit myhopeconference.com or call Hickson First Baptist Church at 423-877-2467.
Nuga Radio.
Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours of Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nuga Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7
Nuga Radio.
Good morning, good people here in the city of Chattanooga. It's your girl Marie Mott with Marie Mott Show. Y'all know what it is. I'm taking it from the streets to City Hall, from City Hall to the mayor's office. We often cannot stop talking about the police department. Y'all know what it is, from the valley low to the mountaintop, giving you guys a bird's eye view to what's going on here in the city of Chattanooga. Good morning, wake up. It's a little cloudy outside, but that's okay. Rain is necessary for growth. And so I hope you guys, I hope you're excited that you woke up this morning. Somebody didn't wake up this morning, right? Somebody didn't wake up this morning, right? So if you're alive, that's another day to run on and see what the end is going to be. To be great, to make change, and to impact wherever you are. And hopefully that's here in the city of Chattanooga. Oh, we got a show lined up today. I'm going to be talking about some tough subjects. And I know people are like, Marie. Oh, Marie, when are you going to talk about Kaepernick and Nike? And when are you going to talk about Kavanaugh and all of the other things going on? You're probably not going to hear me talk about it because there's so much going on right here in the city of Chattanooga. And it's all starting from, some of it's stemming from City Council. Ooh-wee! City Council was on fire. The mic at City Council should be melted by now from all of the times that me and other citizens have gotten up. David Tulish, Jesse Parker, various members of CCJ, just community members after community members getting up and lighting up the council about what's going on. And the sad part is that it continues to be a sad situation. Now we have folks that are supposedly representing us who don't know what's going on and continue to make statements when you speak to them about what's going on in the city of Chattanooga. And they make statements, well, I didn't even know that happened. How? Are you not watching the news? You're not on social media? How are you a representative of the people and you don't even know what's happening within your district? We got to talk, people. We got to talk. And I know some folks going to be salty about it, but I could care less, right? Because I'm doing the work and that's okay. A lot of people who have commentary about me won't meet me at City Council. They won't even call my phone at 800-8949, the same number you can call and chop it up with me at. And as always, I'm streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you want to drop a comment, please do interact with me. Let me know that you're tuning in. So last night was another heavy night. Nothing really on the agenda. And the crazy thing is that I continue to wonder how we have all these problems that continue to happen in the community. And they never make it to items that are on the agenda. It's perplexing to me. How is it that we have various different investigations and allegations, all types of Asians going on with our Chattanooga Police Department, and yet none of these issues make it towards being on the agenda as a conversation where the representatives who represent us every day, or at least are supposed to, somehow don't feel that these things are important enough to talk about unless people address them. And that's ridiculous. To me, that's a ridiculous sentiment that unless the people raise the issue, we're not going to raise the issue. And that consistently the expectation of the council members is that the people within the community have to outwork them. If we got to outwork you, if we got to dig into the information deeper than you, if we got to ask all the questions, I submit to you, council members, what do we need you for? If we got to do all the work and then some, why do we need you? I don't need you if I got to do all the work? Huh? If I got to raise all the issues and ask all the tough, nitty-gritty questions, why do I need you to represent me? Because I thought the whole purposes of having people represent us were to have people with backbones and mouths and intellect to be able to go into rooms and have conversations to represent the people and the needs of the people at any given point in the day, no matter what the business or the order of business is, right? That's not what's happening, good people. So, of course, I got up and, man, they getting tired of me already to the point to where people don't even want to shake my hand anymore, even though I put on social media. I don't want them to shake my hand because you shaking hands with me is like, spiritually for me, that's like me breaking bread with you. And I can't break bread with people who mistreat other people. I can't shake your hand, homie. You know, until you do right by me, everything you think about is going to crumble. Until you do right by the people, everything you think about, that was the Color Purple reference. I need y'all to watch that movie if you've never seen it. Until they do right, I cannot like dap them up. I cannot shake their hands. I can't make them comfortable. I need them to shiver every time they look at me headed toward the mic. I need them to just hang their heads and just a pitiful nature because they already know that I'm coming for blood. It's not that I want to. I would rather be preparing my fall garden. I would much rather be sitting at home with my feet propped up because the people that we hired, we didn't vote for them folks. We hired them. The people we hired are representing us in a proper way. But let's talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Jesse Parker, a school teacher and a minister, a pastor, who ended up having himself, his daughter, and 6 of his grandchildren dragged out of his household early in the morning by various different law enforcement officers with guns pointing at them, the children outside in the cold with no shoes on, no jackets, outside because they refused to offer him a warrant. They refused to, even after they threatened him and cunningly coerced him out of his rights. He agrees to an illegal search. They won't search the house because they are convinced that he is harboring a fugitive who they won't even name. And so Mr. Parker gets up last night and talks about this. And lo and behold, this happens in Carol Burrs' district. This happens in her district. Carol Burrs, the other female council member, with the exception of Demetrius Coonrod, who has this overwhelming infatuation with police. Despite the evidence that we continue to bring, despite the evidence that's coming out on social media, despite the evidence that's coming out on various news outlets from radio to broadcast television, despite all of these issues, she continues to be infatuated with the ideology that the police department here in Chattanooga has 0 problems that she needs to address, and they're doing a fantabulous job. But yet, one of the citizens in her own backyard finds himself dragged out of his household with his grandchildren for no reason. He didn't commit any crimes, was not guilty of anything. Then when they finally searched the house, so again, because he told them the truth, there was nothing that they found. All they could offer was an apology. And so the interesting thing, which is the consistent thing that continues to happen here when you address the people who really have the power and the people who should be getting off of their behinds. You know, it's funny how before the council meeting starts, you hear them cackling and laughing in the back. And then they come out into the front and then you start asking them questions and you start putting the information out there and they lips lock. They jaws lock. Unless they're offering condolences for what you're going through. Never any affirmation, never any statements of what the next step is that they're going to do for the people, saying that I'm going to follow up in these ways. And Mr. Parker, whenever you're ready to go down to the police department, because Carol Burns, well, did you file a complaint? You know, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, Miss Burrs, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're the elected official, are you not? You're the hired official. What are you going to do to ensure that this doesn't happen again in your district, ma'am? What are you going to do? Get up off of your butt, take your sunglasses off, and get to work. Huh? Being a council member is not about strolling into the council chambers just on every Tuesday and then going to your designated meetings, whenever those are, that are often kept from the public. What about when it's time for you to go back into your neighborhood? What are you doing then? How is it that you can even muster up the attitude to say that because I don't agree with your sentiments on police, because the evidence is just what it is? But the evidence is that Police Chief Roddy lied about women stepping forward about the rape, and neither you nor the mayor called him out for being a liar, and he has not been reprimanded for his lies. Huh? And 2 additional women have come forward. Come on. You can't sell me this belief that you don't have a television and you don't have a cell phone and you honestly just have no clue what's going on in the world. But yet you can make statements trying to reaffirm the belief, despite the mounting evidence against the police department here, that they're doing a good job. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not. And the people, it's just one person after another person after another. And I hope that Avery Gray, Diana Watt, Malik Sanford, Jesse Parker, I hope not only do you guys sue the Chattanooga Police Department, as you should, for compensation for being not only harassed but brutalized, but I think we need to come together into a silver suit, because for all of these instances to be against African American people, what that says to me is that, what that says is that African American people are being targeted by the Chattanooga Police Department. Maybe this is not only a moral issue, but a civil rights issue. Is that what it's going to take? Not only us suing the city of Chattanooga, but opening an investigation on the basis of civil rights infringement? Is that what it's going to take for the mayor to come up out of his office and get on television and actually say something about what is going on here in his city? Huh? The city of Chattanooga is a business, and he's the CEO. And where is Mayor Burke? Not against anybody that works for him. You got to get your money and get your money, baby. Take care of yourself. But where is your boss? Where is he? Are we going to have to just bust up to Burgers and Burke and shut it down and block him from getting out and make him answer questions? Is that what it's going to take? Block his car? Is that what it's going to take, folks? Huh? It doesn't need to be a situation where people need to come in and bum rush the city council. Huh? We ain't gonna have 5 minutes. We're not even gonna talk about business agenda. You're gonna talk to the people about what's going on in the city of Chattanooga. Is that what we need to do? We need to bum rush the city council meeting, block the doors, protest on the inside. Is that what we gotta do? Are we forced to have to go to desperate measures to really get people to do more than sympathize with us? I can't do nothing with your sympathy, Carol Burrs, Anthony Bird. I can't do nothing with your sympathy. Your sympathy does not change my situation. Your sympathy does not help Mr. Parker and his grandchildren get over their traumatic experience. The money doesn't even do that. We don't want your charity. Huh? Oh, and that's why we have to have this conversation about white savioring and black gatekeeping. Yeah, that's really what I'm working towards. White savioring and black gatekeeping. where people think that what people of color really want is charity. I don't want your charity. I don't want you to provide direct services such as food, clothing, and shelter. I want you to promote institutional change to where I don't have to ask for any of it. Oh, it's heavy in here. I don't want you to deal with the symptoms of injustice. I want you to pull it up from the root. That's justice. There's a difference between charity with injustice. I don't want your charity. I want justice. I don't want your charity, which is short-term solutions or short-term relief. I want the solutions for the long term, so I don't have to keep looking at you, coming and dragging myself down to the council when I can be doing better things, because we actually got justice. See, that's the thing. And the sad part is it started even before the meeting started. So a white man decides to shake my hand after staring at me. And I said, hello, how you doing? Because that's how I was raised, not to just stare at people, but to introduce myself, because I'm a nice human being. Miss Mott, are you the same one that works on the radio station with David Toulis? I said, yes, sir, I am. I already knew. Well, we were headed. Yes, sir, I am. I'm on the same station as Mr. David Toulis. I've tuned into... Now, interesting enough, he says, I've tuned into your show a couple of times, but a couple of times. I can't listen to it often. Things to do. But it seems to me that, your show is based on race. And I said, well, it's kind of difficult for you to make a summation of what my show is about if you only listen occasionally. But race, I know, right? I'm petty. How do you make a declaration of what my show is about if you only listen every once in a while? You clearly missed that I've talked about mental health. I talk about knowing your rights, which have nothing to do with race. Yes. Is race something I talk about often? Yes, because we got to talk about it. Yeah, we got to have tough conversations. We got to. I'm invested into my community, and we got to have tough conversations. Why not? Huh? We got to stop it. Nobody wants to talk about it, but everybody wants to get over it. And I already knew the conversation was going to go left, but I allowed it to go on. So he says, well, I said, well, my show is not all about race. I said, we have to have a conversation about race. And until we have conversations, there's no way for us to get over what race and racism is. Race is a social construct. It's not anything that's even really real. And so this is why it was important for me to talk about white savoring, because I want my white brothers and sisters to know something and to be super clear about something. Number one, people of color don't want your charity. Y'all got this thing twisted. We are quite capable. If we have investment, we're quite capable of taking care of ourselves. You look at why most of downtown North Shore and all the surrounding areas have been gentrified. It's because we weren't invested in. It's not because we are not capable of taking care of our own neighborhoods, or we're not capable or intelligent enough to determine our own future. But if we don't have that investment from a fiscal standpoint, well, same thing. That can happen to you. It's not that a lot of white people are doing better than us in the grand scheme of things. White people are almost just as poor. If we really look at the data, it's not that white people are really doing better than us. You're really in the same boat, huh? You're in the same boat. You're just more of an investment. You're better to invest in than people of color. That's why we've talked about redlining, the color of law. That's why I said people just don't understand. They catch my show every once in a while, maybe I guess when I am talking about race, and they don't understand. I've covered a lot of discussions about how some of this stuff has manifested itself in our society in the first place. We don't want your charity. We want justice. But he says, this is where it always starts from 90% of my white brethren and sistren. When are you guys going to get over slavery? Now, I'm not interested in shoving older people. But I had to ask the Lord on the inside to help me not shove this man, because I never hear anybody ask the Jewish person, when are they going to forget about the Holocaust? I never see this same level of disrespect towards other people who have endured things. And then, of course, after I debunked that, because chattel slavery is of its own accord, and again talked about that, serfdom, indentured servitude, not the same thing as chattel slavery. The comparison, the first thing is that we're never going to get over it, because first of all, that's history. That's history. We don't forget history. Otherwise, we end up repeating it, right? So that's history. I'm not going to forget about my history. But we continue to roll on into this conversation, and we're going to pick it up on the second half of the segment. White savoring, black gatekeeping, and why the poor in Chattanooga just keep on getting poor. They just keep getting poor. But we got nice buildings, though. And our police department is doing a great job. And according to the mayor, the city of Chattanooga is doing just fine. We don't have any problems as far as I can see. But maybe we're not living in the same Chattanoogas, because we talked about the two Chattanooga divide for a long time. Y'all stay tuned for the second half of the segment. It's about to get real up in here. Stay tuned.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
There's new details revealed in the Hot Water Road shooting. Police say Roger Kelly was a drug dealer who was shot dead by Tracy Lee Bowman. Bowman claims Kelly came at him with a rifle and he killed in self-defense. Reports say Kelly dealt in pills of some kind. There's new housing plan for downtown, specifically Unum. Plans to take up an entire block between Cherry, Walnut, 4th, and 3rd Streets. The proposal asks for 163 residential units at 4 stories high. Apartments built there would mean less parking for downtown. Parking is becoming more and more scarce in Chattanooga as time goes by. And U.S. Representative Marsha Blackburn has announced Jim Haslam II, the father of Tennessee Governor Bill Haslam, will serve as campaign finance chairman in her bid for U.S. Senate. Dana Lash, The Dana Show, the conservative alternative, weeknights from 7 to 10 on Nooga Radio. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News Now.
Let's face it, Old Faithful isn't as faithful as it used to be. Constant repairs are a hassle and can rack up quick in money and time. Landers McClarty Ford can fix that. Right now, you can get a 2016 Ford Focus, 34,000 miles, only $11,491. A 2017 Chevy Spark with only 17,000 miles for less than $12,000. A 2015 Volkswagen Jetta with less than 21,000 miles for $11,991. Yeah, browse their entire inventory of new and new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs online at Landers McCarty Ford of FortPayne.com. Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. If you can't find your next perfect ride, they'll go find it for you. Big city selection, small town prices, friendly service, and top dollar for your trade. The savings are waiting and only a short drive away, so what are you waiting for? Get started with your personalized shopping today at Landers McClarty Ford of FortPayne.com.
Nooga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Hello? Who am I speaking with? Eric, you're our winner. Really?
You'll receive tickets for all 3 races between the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup races.
Holy cow.
In addition, you'll receive a 2-night stay at the Microtel Hotel and restaurant accommodations at 2 area restaurants.
Nooga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Nooga Radio.
92.7.
Your NASCAR racing station. Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Join Nooga Radio and the Gridiron Gang live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. We're talking all things high school football. There's a specialty brew or refresher weekly inspired by the game of the week. Sweet treats, extended hours all season long, and we're pet friendly. Portions of all proceeds support local schools and educational scholarships as well as after-school programs. It's football time in Tennessee. Join us every Thursday live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks, 10 North, your North Shore neighborhood living room.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins. Are you tired of making 1% on your investments with the banks? Even 2 or 3% at best? Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins.
Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Brainerd Road.
Man, you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I worked with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet way. Yeah, I just put that in.
Join We've Got You Covered with Scott Schrader every Saturday from 10 to 11 on Nuga Radio. From finance to fixtures, we discuss everything you need to know about buying or owning a home, the pitfalls, the perks, and everything in between. Saturday mornings, 10 to 11, right here on Nuga Radio.
Nuga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Got lots of clouds out there for your afternoon, but continue mainly dry, very warm and humid highs into the upper 80s. Tonight, some leftover clouds, lows 70 to 73. For Thursday and Friday, partly sunny, few isolated afternoon showers and storms with highs 88 to 90. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world-famous sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Sorgene 12, Chief Meteorologist, Max Report.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Oh, it's Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show. I'm making them so mad at City Council, they don't even want to shake my hand anymore. But as I've already stated, I don't want to shake their hand anyways. I'm not friends with folks who do wrong by the people. And I'm not interested in you talking your way out of accountability. It don't work like that. Oh, yeah, we talking about it. White savior complex and black gatekeeping today on the Marie Mott Show. Because last night, city council for me continues to be a circus. But the sad part is that not only is this behavior just coming from the council, but then this behavior comes from the very citizens. Some of the citizens here in the city of Chattanooga. So it got real interesting when you have a woman comes up from the, as she called it, the Martin Luther King Boulevard, the Martin Luther King neighborhood. As in her own words, she said she was representing the entire neighborhood, which was quite interesting. She gets up and she talks about apparently there is a home or a halfway house on Martin Luther King Boulevard that services people who are transitioning from prison or drug abusers or prostitutes, basically people just going through a difficult time in life, right? And I thought that maybe she was getting up and she was going to have compassion for the very, as Justin Whaley, the man responsible for killing James Brumlow, the EMT, would say in his practices. I thought maybe she would have compassion for the denizens of the ghetto. But in fact, she solicited the council to block it. I'm guessing that they were going to be increasing funding for whatever halfway house this was, or services, increasing the scope of the services, which would be able to service more people. And she thought that the council needed to step in and stop this because now her little home, and I guess the neighbor's home, wouldn't be protected anymore. And all of the beautiful businesses that used to belong to hardworking African-American people, which no longer can they own anymore. Now that they are, now that MLK and downtown is the happening place to be, and we rebuilt Miller Park because we certainly don't want anybody sleeping downtown. We certainly don't want the new people who we keep soliciting to come here to recognize that we have an ever increasing population of displaced and homeless people, that we have a drug problem that we don't even talk about here in the city of Chattanooga. Yeah. That she wanted them to block extending services. Now, this was perplexing in the most church city in America. I'm probably sure by the way that she looked, not trying to just size her up, but I'm pretty sure if I asked her if she went to church, she probably goes to church. She dressed very nice, looked well pedicured. I'm pretty sure that she would say that she was a Christian. I can almost guarantee. And how is it that we have citizens that care more about what the city looks like than the people that we are helping and servicing? And that we would solicit the council, which should be responsible for helping people, attending to crisis, investing in people, would not even, I don't know how I could be on the council and probably not laugh at this lady and really say, are you for real? What are we supposed, the bigger question is, what are we supposed to do with these people? Ignore them? Right? Like some people do already, step over them, watch them be hungry, allow them to be addicted to drugs, allow them to be homeless because we have no services to offer them. And yet we have no problem investing millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in the downtown area. All the while, people on the very same streets that we are building up for godless monstrosities, people are looking up at these nice investments with their bellies empty. Is that what we have become? We're more interested in what the city looks like than what the city really is. I had to pause for a moment because my heart bleeds that we have legitimately, totally traded any God-given agape love for a right now pleasure. And legitimately, we are willing to starve and step over our neighbor to continue to look good. I don't understand. And then folks, I'm telling you, folks will fight at me. Why? What is so offensive about helping somebody? What is so offensive about investing in people? What is so offensive about taking care of your community? What is so offensive about expecting the leadership to do just that? What is offensive about that? What is offensive about loving someone other than you? Other than yourself? What is offensive about a local economy? What is offensive about that? The fact that it redistributes wealth amongst people who should have already had it in the first place and ceases capitalistic cronyism that's going on in the city of Chattanooga? Shucks. If they didn't even know as the council that they didn't collect $26 million in the 2017 fiscal year from companies in the form of payment in lieu of taxes, I can almost guarantee you they wouldn't even have an idea if the mayor or anybody else would be stealing Ooh, yeah. We'll be stealing, funneling money. I had some questions about one of the line items last night. I didn't even ask it because I knew that they wouldn't even have an answer. That's why it's bigger than just wanting to win so you can get in a seat. You got to, first of all, understand or be able to follow the money. Do you know what is accounted for? Do you even know who's doing business with who? And the sad part is really, you don't even have to look too far because you start looking at these organizations and then you start looking at these development companies and then you start looking at these nonprofits and then you start noticing a mixture of all of these people who are all on the same boards and doing business with one another. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Talk to me.
Love it, Marie. The term I use is corporate communism. Founding fathers didn't envision corporate communism. They envisioned free enterprise, and there's a difference. Corporate communism is crony capitalism, whereby the government works together with these creatures created by the state, because corporations are created by the state. They breathe their life by the corporate charter. Free enterprise is you setting up a stand, living or dying based on what you produce or don't produce and what consumers want or don't want, with no interference from government other than if what you're doing affects its health, safety, and welfare. In other words, you can't put a gas pump next to your house in your neighborhood because obviously there's gasoline. But other than anything that affects your health, safety, and welfare, that you live and die based on what the consumer wants from you, that is free enterprise. And we've gone from that model to corporate cronyism, or as I like to call it, corporate communism, whereby the corporation can get you to do something that the government can't. And as an example, I lost jobs because I refused direct deposit when I was younger. You're not going to take my money and directly deposit it in the bank. I lost jobs because I didn't want to give a Social Security number to go to work. I'm like, why do you need a number? I'm going to work for you. When you're done, when I'm done, pay me. And if I owe the tax, I'll pay it. Why is it your business? Because it's corporate communism. The government uses corporations to do what they can't do under the Constitution. The Constitution restricts governments, not corporations. What a scam.
Oh, man, that's Mr. Government right there. Mr. Constitution, Mike Steele, always chopping it up with me. I keep telling you guys, the Constitution is really what binds it all. But people are constantly looking for loopholes, and it's not really for the people's benefit. It's for their friends. You know, if you looked at atmchat.com with Helen Burns Sharp, who does a fabulous job of stating the case of housing pilots, job pilots, TIFs, surplus property, government transparency. The information is right there at your fingertips as well as theirs, which is why I said yesterday on the show, when you have people who would rather go back and forth with you, who are on the council, go backward and forward with you when they have their own radio show and everything else in between, go backward and forward with you, and then surmise that, well, looks like you know all you need to know. Well, baby, it ain't about me knowing because I don't meet with any of these people that I don't know. You do. You and your constituents do. Y'all know who the big players are. If you don't, then you falling asleep at the meeting. But the reality is that not only should you be going into these rooms with the people in mind, but you need to report back to the community. We need to know what's going on. And it's bigger than just you and your district. Let me say that again. It's bigger than you and your district. My heart cannot one day decide that it's not going to work with my brain unless I'm going to be dead. You see how that works? The moment my heart decides that it's not going to work with my brain, I'm a dead man or a dead woman. I'm dead. So the moment one portion of the council decides that it's not going to work with the other, and that you guys are not going to be in unison, on the same page, have the same information, share information, and then report back to the people individually and as a whole. No wonder we're the 7th worst ran municipality in the nation. And that happened even with new people on the council. Geez Louise. My goodness, folks, I don't know what to say, except that the more you go to the city council meeting and the more you see names and you see people come up and you see people talk, and then in a lot of instances you see the same people. And then before the meeting, you see them talking to certain people on the council. And then after, you see them talking to certain people. You get the game real quick. It's no wonder why the people have no clue what's going on. Because if we really started digging, I believe that what we would uncover would probably crumble the city of Chattanooga. I believe that. We cannot lie about the corruption that we have. We cannot lie about it. If we're the 7th worst ran municipality in the nation, you better believe that there's corruption as a foundation of that. But how deep does the rabbit hole go? That's the really bigger question for me. Why is it that a company that Burke is involved in is asking for the government to write a grant for it and then asking for funding for the city from the city of Chattanooga on top of a grant right? Questions, scratching my head. I don't understand that. If you're getting a grant for something, why does the city of Chattanooga need to send you $40-something thousand? You see how this works, folks? This is the stuff you'll find out if you come to a city council meeting. You see grant writing in one line, and then you see at the bottom where the city of Chattanooga is offering like $50,000 on top of something that's already been written or should be written or sponsored by a grant. And then the involved parties are both mayors, Mayor Coppinger as well as Mayor Burke. Interesting. You see, part of the reason why my parents always said that they raised me to be a responsible person, and my dad, he's hilarious. He said, well, part of me raising you the way that I did, I know it's tough on you, was that so that I could remove the excuse of you didn't know any better. Because if you know, then you have a responsibility to do better. And I believe that people continue to act like, or even state legitimately that they don't know because they don't want to be called into accountability once they do. They don't want to be held guilty. Did we not just see what happened in Atlanta last year when Keisha Bottoms won? They had all these council members in the city of Atlanta who have been funneling money all sorts of kind of ways. Folks, we better wake up and see how this works. Follow the money, ask questions. Y'all need to start, I'm telling you, y'all need to start calling y'all representatives and legitimately asking, since you have been in office, what have you done in the community? I need to see it. And I need to see line items of money that's been funneled into the community, how it was funneled, who received it. And I need to understand what was it for? So I can go check for myself. If the YFD Center was supposed to get $50,000 to get, I don't know, computers or whatever, I need to make sure that happens. That happened. I need to see that. Oh, y'all don't want me to be real. Y'all don't want me to be real. We don't want to help the people who are starving and hungry. But we have all of these organizations. And that's even an even bigger question, which is why I wanted to talk about white savior complex. We have all of these organizations. Everybody started an organization. Everybody and their mama got an organization. Arts organizations, social justice organizations. We got all of these organizations, and really the ones that are doing the work, the smaller organizations, are the ones that go unfunded, or the ones that get unfunded, like Fathers to the Fatherless. And then we just rely on the VRI program that didn't work before and that isn't working now. How is it that we have large organizations here in the city of Chattanooga, but we still have an increasing population of poor people? If anybody wants to answer that question for me, 800-8949. How do we have all of these organizations here in the city of Chattanooga who are in nice buildings, very nice buildings. You see the people who are part of these organizations, they never look shabby. How is it that we have all of these social organizations and yet we have an increased population of poor people? And the sad part is that it's so bad here in the city of Chattanooga. Adolescent homelessness has tripled since 2008. We even have teenagers who are homeless here in the city of Chattanooga. No place to stay. Probably the only meal that they may be getting is at school. Are we really looking at this? I'm just asking the questions. And the sad part is that we have to take into account that it's not just a certain group of people. Yes, are some of the white people, do they have a white savior complex? They're going to just give charity without actually doing a legitimate change, checking their egos out the door every single day. That it's going to be a trickle-down effect of anything that's supposed to happen. Is never really a diverse. You look at these organizations, they never really are diversified as far as male to female, and surely aren't diversified as far as representatives who are Hispanic, African American, Native American. They're not diversified. And never do they really go to the community that they're supposedly helping, asking what the community wants or what the community needs. They're making a determination for the people and then just going to hand them whatever they decide. That is a complex. I appreciate your desire, but homie, we don't want your charity. We need investment. And really what we need you to do is use your privilege to go down to the city council and say, you know what? I want to see some investment into Lincoln Park. I want to see Lincoln Park become a historic neighborhood. We need you to do things like that. And for the African-American people who sit on the council and continue to make excuses for why they're not doing anything, you know what? That's cool. We got your number too. The time is coming where the people are taken into account. And the cool thing is that everything continues to come out. What's done in the dark is going to come out into the light anyways. You might as well get on the side of the people because it just continues to come out in the wash. You could do it now or you could do it later. You could pay now, you could pay later. But either way, you're going to have to pay, homie. Either way, you're going to pay. Y'all know what it is. Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show. Always hitting you. But tomorrow, we're going to do it a little bit. We're going to switch it up. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the power of confidence and the importance of meditation. That's right. We're going to switch it up tomorrow. Y'all know what it is. Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show. As always, if no one has taken the time today to tell you that they love you, Marie Rachel Hogue Mott loves you. And guess what, my loves? It is nothing that you can do about it. Come on. Tune in tomorrow for the Marie Mott Show.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
There's new details revealed in the Hot Water Road shooting. Police say Roger Kelly was a drug dealer who was shot dead by Tracy Lee Bowman. Bowman claims Kelly came at him with a rifle and he killed in self-defense. Reports say Kelly did